Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Here, are we live? I think that we're good to go. What the hell was that? Jets fans, what the heck was that? Welcome to the Game Over Winnipeg's post-game show of tonight's game between the Winnipeg Jets and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Hello, my name is Ty Dilello, and I am the host here at Game Over Winnipeg. Not a good game tonight by the Jets, a lot of different ways. Not a good game. The Jets lost 4-1 from Columbus in a not very spirited affair. Did not think a lot of the Jets played all that well tonight. After a scoreless first period, Kyle Connor got the game's scoring going with a power play goal, assisted by Morrissey and Scheifele. And then just about a minute later, Columbus tied it with Dmitry Voronkov's seventh goal of the year for Columbus. It was 1-1 going into the third period. It was kind of anybody's game. And then Columbus decided to take the game. Kent Johnson scored a pair of 5-on-5 goals that our top line gave up. We'll be definitely talking about that in the second period of the show. I'll tell you that for free. And then the Jets couldn't muster anything with the goal he pulled, and Sean Crowley added the empty netter to make it 4-1. Elvis Merzlikins stopped 24 shots to get the victory, while Eric Comrie made 24 saves himself in the loss. Do a quick ad read here. Hyperdrive Hockey. So you can check out the flagship show of the Game Over Network on the Game Over Network channel, Hyperdrive Hockey, which is all things hockey across various leagues in multiple countries. Whatever it is and wherever it is, Max, Daphne, and Kev have you covered for all of your hockey news with a steady dose of fun and fan engagement. So you can find the Hyperdrive Hockey show on the Game Over Network YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or on the Hyperdrive Hockey page at our website, thegameovernetwork.com. Anybody in the chat? If you're in the chat, feel free to ask questions or speak up. It was a tough one. It was a tough one tonight for Jets fans, I think. Coming off a pair of wins, I think that we expected a little bit better performance tonight at home. I guess give full marks to Columbus though. They're a decent team. They're a decent squad that put up that obviously had a game plan against the Jets and they executed it. I think it was into the second period where the Columbus Blue Jackets were double in shots. They were doing a lot better job than the Jets of kind of getting deep into their zone, getting chances on the forecheck. It really took the Jets a lot to kind of start generating things and start kind of grinding their way into this game. It was not. It was. I think just we expected a little bit more tonight. It kind of feels like one step forward, two steps back a little bit. And the Jets are going to have to be a lot better. We have two tough games this week on Tuesday and Thursday against Boston and Vegas. I believe Boston's won 4 in a row. We all know what Vegas is. The Jets are not playing anywhere near the level they were, earlier this season when things were going so well and they won, 15 of their first 16 games. This is a hockey team that's struggling to find themselves, struggling to score goals. And just not playing the right way. I believe the Jets, this was their 10th game in the last 17 days. So obviously they're going to be maybe tired, not as fresh. At the same time, not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Every team is playing, every other night in this league. Maybe the Jets have played slightly more, but you got to be putting up better performances than this. Let's nothing in the chat. Okay. we'll do another quick ad read here for LaRouche. Game Over Network is an independent production focused on community, inclusion, and quality people. If you're interested in supporting the Game Over Network, we have crowdfunding options available to you. In the description of this episode, you'll find a link to our Patreon page, and we're also working on a page through LaRouche, which is a crowdfunding platform for companies originating in Quebec, which is why I've never heard of LaRouche before. It's not, I think, not here in Manitoba at least. So for LaRouche, though, we're aiming to raise $15,000, and if we hit that goal, we'll gain access to government grants that will allow us to employ more people. Just then do more, I guess, for you. So if you have any ideas for what you'd like to see as giveaways from these crowdfunding efforts, please let us know in the comments here on Twitter, Instagram, our Discord server, or the new Blue Sky app, which is kind of like similar to Twitter, minus all the kind of the bad stuff from Twitter. So I think myself and a lot of the other Game Over hosts have kind of migrated over to Blue Sky, and you can find us. You can find us there if you're interested. Yeah. The Jets' first line. We always hear a lot of talk. The Jets have the best third line in the NHL. Best third line: Lowry, Niederreiter, Appleton. They shut down that other teams' top lines. They do a lot of good. They score the occasional goal. It's really good. Jets have one of the worst first lines in hockey in the NHL. 5-on-5. I'm not talking about the power play. I'm talking about 5-on-5 when you're just when you're rolling out your lines. Connor, Scheifele, Velarde, this trio, and more specifically, Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele together, are so it's just they're not helping us win hockey games 5-on-5. They give up more goals statistically. They give up more goals when they're on the ice than they produce. Simple as that. So why are they still playing together? Why are we gluing these two players together? They're good hockey players. They are not defensively responsible. Gabriel Velarde, their third player, is not defensively responsible. He's not he's trying to probably be a more two-way player. He's not. When are we going to switch up these lines? Because what's going on right now isn't working. We just scored one goal against a pretty mid Columbus Blue Jackets team, and that was on the power play. So great that the power play got one. The power play has had, God knows the power play has had its struggles these last 2.5 weeks. We know that. We got to start switching up the lines. It was another night where I felt the second and the third line were also kind of producing our best 5-on-5 chances. I thought, Niederreiter had some looks. We talked about him extensively last game. I thought Nemesnikov, Lambert, and Perfetti got some chances, and they're limited ice, I guess. I'm looking at, Brad Lambert played 14 minutes, or almost 15 minutes tonight. That's a bit of an upgrade. Cole Perfetti played 18 minutes. Nemesnikov played 13 or about 14 minutes. I don't know. I think that we need to start giving a little bit more rope to the second line. I know Brad Lambert's a rookie. I know he's only played a couple of games. You can trust him to carry the puck up the ice. You can trust these guys. They have it right. Like Cole Perfetti even. He was making some moves tonight. They need a different player than Vladimir Nemesnikov on that line, or you need to switch up Lambert and Perfetti to get them off each other's line. But, they were kind of buzzing tonight. They had some chances. They were getting the puck deep. And they weren't hemmed in their own zone 5-on-5 all game like, Scheifele, Connor, and Velarde was. I don't know what it's going to take for the coaching staff to, split up this trio for a game. It seems like when they get, NHL coaches, when they get an idea, they stick through it. They live and die by the sword a little bit. And I know that Connor and Scheifele like to play together. Great. You guys are good on the power play for sure. But like the Columbus's 2 goals by Kent Johnson in the third period, both 5-on-5 goals that the Jets gave up. Guess who was on the ice? No, really, guess. All of my, 2 viewers that are watching the show. Who was on the ice? Connor Scheifele Velarde. Like, Jesus Christ, how many times do we have to go through this? If a line is not, a first line especially, if your first line is not scoring enough goals, more than they allow, should they really be playing together? The Jets are so deep. We have such good offensive depth on this team. Obviously, the blue line's a little bit shallow right now. We know that. We have so many different line combinations we could be doing. There's players that could be playing up in the lineup. I would love Nito Niederreiter to get a shot in the top 6. And not permanently, but a guy that you can just slot in there and, he can instantly kind of boost, a Scheifele or whoever. I'd like Lambert to play with, some more speed, some more speedy players. If Nikolai Ehlers comes back, I don't think we send Brad Lambert down right away. I think you let Lambert and Ehlers play together for a couple of games. I think you put David Gustafsson on waivers. We know what Gustafsson is. He's not a good NHL player. He's a dime a dozen player. He can go on waivers, and no one's going to claim him. He'll go down in the Moose, and we can pick him up at any time. On defense, got to get rid of Logan Stanley. Why was he playing tonight instead of Ville Heinola? Yes, it was great that we let Colin Miller play a game, no doubt. But why was Stanley the one that's playing over Ville? I don't know. After Ville played, perhaps his best game as a Winnipeg Jet yesterday. Is it still load management from his injury? I'm not sure. But one thing's for certain. I think the Jets are probably going to have a practice tomorrow. Monday before they play Tuesday against Boston at home. I really wonder if now is the time that Scott Arniel starts to change the lines and just gives a different look. I highly doubt it. But I think a lot of fans are kind of thinking that it's time to just see what, try to get the offense going, because currently right now it's not working. We scored one goal tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets team, and that was on the power play. We got outshot and outchanced by a mid-Columbus Blue Jackets team. It's just not good. And we looked a little bit better, I thought. We looked better the second, third period yesterday against Chicago. We didn't look that great against Buffalo. And then it's been, we lost 4 in a row before that. So changes are needed. It's not always a negative. It's just about trying to switch things up, try to get things going. So let's see. Let's see what, they do from here. So I'll do another. It's getting a little worked up there, so let's do another ad read. We'll see if we can get the heart rate down a little bit. Game on, Winnipeg. So Game Over, what you're watching right now, has you covered after the game. But in order to get ready to watch the Jets, you've got to get your game on too. So Game On Winnipeg is a short form daily news podcast covering everything you need to know about the Winnipeg Jets. Debuting soon, I hope. You can get all your Jets news in under 10 minutes, Monday through Friday, on the Game Over Winnipeg YouTube channel and in podcast form, which you can find at thegameovernetwork.com/pages/Winnipeg. Have not seen. We don't have Game On Winnipeg yet, is I guess how I'll put it. We have Harrison Lee, a host who's going to start that show soon. But as of yet, we don't have Game Over, or Game On Winnipeg, sorry. I think most other Canadian markets here with Game Over does have it, so I encourage you to check it out. Because it's kind of good quick hits, kind of whatever happened last night with your team and what's going on around the NHL. It's kind of a way to get your news, without having to scroll through Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever you use to get your, news updates and stuff. So yeah. Third period now in the show. We're kind of rolling through things here, but more kind of questionable. Wanted to talk a little bit about the defense for this next segment. Morrissey, Pionk are together. Our two top defensemen, I would say. Both are not the most defensively responsible, I'll put it. They're both kind of offensive defensemen. Morrissey runs the first power play unit, while Pionk runs the second. This was not a good game from them together. I'm looking more so at Pionk. I don't think Pionk had a great game tonight. I don't think this should be maybe they were put together to kind of spring the offense 5-on-5 maybe, but clearly if you watch the hockey game, we didn't see that. Then we saw Fleury and DeMello play together. I think that Hayden Fleury has shown some offensive glimpses. I've seen enough of him to know why he's a perennial 6th, 7th, 8th defenseman on an NHL team. And then we saw Logan Stanley and Colin Miller tonight. Logan Stanley, we've talked about him at length about what he does for the team and what he doesn't do, more importantly, and how much we want to see him, out of this organization, to put it bluntly. Colin Miller came in today after, resting, I think, the last 3 games. He was healthy scratch to make way for the Stanley-Heinola pairing. Thought Miller had a fine game. He's clearly a better defenseman than a Fleury, than a Stanley. Jury's still out on Ville Heinola because we don't really know yet because he's not played properly. They don't use Ville properly, so I'd like to see more of that. But we kind of, at least I think the coaching staff, why they've been scratching Miller is that they kind of know what Colin Miller is. They know what he brings to the lineup, and they're kind of trying to give these young players, giving these young players a look and seeing what they have in them. So tonight we saw Stanley and Miller together. I pray to God that we see Heinola Miller against Boston on Tuesday. I think that'll shut up Jets fans at least. If Ville gets to play on his proper side, he gets kind of a runway of a couple games. So everybody, the coaching staff included, can see like what we have in this defenseman. Is this another, Nick Patan, Marco Dano, Sami Niku flash in the pan defenseman that, people were all worked up that should be getting more of an opportunity, and then he does, and then he turns out to be not so hot. And is he I don't know. I think that Ville Heinola has a lot of potential in this lineup. I also think that the Winnipeg Jets have a lot of small defensemen, as is. So I would just like to know either way. I think that we've banked enough points where we can, kind of play our roster, run 4 lines, run our defense, and just see what we have in these players. Can we play these guys when it really matters in the playoffs, in the nitty gritty, in the end of the regular season? There's just so much unknown right now with how Scott Arniel and the coaching staff has kind of decided to run their lines, how they decided to allocate ice time, pairings, offsides. We don't know, like Brad Lambert, I think that Brad Lambert showed extremely well in his I would say almost limited showings, playing sheltered minutes, not playing late in games. Play Brad Lambert late in the game. I saw he was out with the goalie pull tonight. That was good, only because Scheifele, Connor Velarde were already out for 2 minutes, and they were gassed, and they didn't produce nothing. They didn't produce jack what. You got to give these young guys, let the young guys play a little bit. Yeah. I think we need to see Morrissey back with DeMello next game. I don't think Morrissey Pionk's the answer. I think you put Fleury back with Pionk, and then let's see Ville and Colin Miller for both Tuesday and Thursday at least. It's going to be the loss of Dylan Sandberg was indeed big to the Jets' decor, as a lot of people predicted. And the Jets are clearly missing Nikolai Ehlers as well. Nikolai Ehlers, he was supposed to be out 7 to 10 days. I'm going to say that I think he could be back for next Saturday's game against Montreal is kind of my prediction. I think that he doesn't play the 2 games this week. He probably starts skating by Wednesday. And if he's feeling good enough, I think he'll play on Saturday night against his old buddy Patrick Laine, I think is what they're kind of aiming for with that. And I don't want to see Lambert immediately sent down. I want to see Ehlers and Lambert playing a line together for at least a game or two to see what we have. If Lambert doesn't have it, send him down and just let him continue to develop with the Moose. But he's showing that he can play and hang with NHLers. He's showing that he's the fastest or one of the fastest players on the ice. Every time he steps out every time he gets a shift, he's creating. I think he's making the most of what he has. Obviously I might be biased. I'm a big Brad Lambert supporter, and wish him all the best. And just give these young guys a look and figure out exactly what you have in them. You have this opportunity, just do that. I'll throw up the merch on the screen now. Merch looks great, doesn't it? Yeah, so if you're watching on the broadcast here, we got our merchandise on the screen with the QR code. What better way to support something you love than by rocking it as clothing? Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique designs. Whether you feel the nostalgic pull of our retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, which is currently on sale, want to wear your love for goalies proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, or if you just need another coffee to get you through the winter, we got you covered. So designed by Brady Chalice from Game Over Winnipeg. Use the QR code on the stream now and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. It's a lot of great stuff. If you're interested in supporting us or just wanting like another Winnipeg Jets themed clothing, I encourage you to check out our apparel store and just buy something for the holidays. Maybe you got a relative, maybe you want to get a Christmas gift. Makes great gifts. So please check it out. Please check it out. What do you know? We're gonna wrap things. We got a question in the chat. Can you believe it? Pelly Lindbergh, who's good for one of my few viewers tonight and most nights. Pelly says, "Hope you've been enjoying the show, Mr. Pelly Lindbergh, the late Pelly Lindbergh. Who should the Jets trade for?" Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned. I don't think I talked about necessarily the Jets need to make a trade right now. I think that the Jets will have to be active again at the deadline. I think our first round pick once again will have to be in play. It's going to hopefully be a very late first round pick. Hopefully, in the 25 to 32 range. And I know we've traded our first round pick. I think 4 of the last 5 years or 4 of the last 6 years, something like that. We're seeing a lot of the holes right now in the Jets lineup from these games, from this losing streak. We're seeing what happens when the depth goes cold. It's getting hard to produce, and I think that making trades to bolster the lineup might be the play again. I know that Monahan, Toffoli definitely didn't work out as a trade option last year. Monahan, I didn't love it either, just how it worked out. I know he was better than Toffoli. Thank goodness the Jets did not pay him in the off season like Columbus did. I know he's doing good as Columbus's 1C this year. That's great. But I didn't see enough from Monahan that I thought he should be playing at 2C over some of our other guys. I'm definitely not blocking a Brad Lambert from playing in the NHL because we paid Sean Monahan $5.5 million. I think the Jets are going to go out and trade for a defenseman, if not 2 defensemen at some point before the deadline. I would love a Ryan Pulak from the Islanders. I've said that to my brother Braden a bunch. I've said that to people. I think that we need Ideally, we trade for another top four defenseman, and then maybe a Colin Miller type, third pairing guy as well. But I think our big needs is a top four defenseman, and another top six forward, whether that's a center or a winger. I think we need to add someone that can, put the puck in the net, can do the right things, can play two-way. A name I'm thinking of right now is Brock Nelson, who comes from, just down the road, War Road, Minnesota. I think he'd be a great second-line center, first-line center for the playoffs. So if the Islanders are maybe not in the playoff mix come the deadline, I think those could be good moves. Pulak or Nelson. Hopefully that answers your question, Pelly. Definitely got to make a trade. I think all contenders you're going to see this season, there will be lots of trades before the deadline. I wonder the timing of the moves. The Jets kind of went a month early last year with the Monahan trade. And sometimes it's good to do the move early so the players can get acclimated to the new team. Sometimes it's not. So, let's see what the Jets do from here. They're near the top of the league right now for a reason. I believe they're now 20-9 on the year. They're the only team in the league with 20 wins. So it's not like the sky is falling at all. We knew that slumps were going to happen in a season. I don't think anybody expected the Winnipeg Jets to go, 75-7 on the year. I don't think that was feasible. It's just about kind of going through these slumps and getting out of them, unscathed. I know the schedule is going to slow down hopefully soon for the Jets. I think playing at home here will help. The players can kind of sleep in their own bed. Schedule will be a little bit lighter. It's something that we're all kind of looking forward to. Nobody else has any more questions. Pelly, thank you for the question. We'll start to wrap things up here. Like to thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody from all across the country, all across the world. It means a bunch to us that you watch our shows, watch this show here on Game Over Winnipeg. It's great to have so many viewers every single episode. We can't do it without you. No sarcasm there. We will be back here on, I believe, Tuesday night. We'll be back following a 7 o'clock Central game against the Boston Bruins at home. This homestand continues. We got Boston on Tuesday, Vegas on Thursday, and then the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday. Hockey Night in Canada. So my partner Brendan Labarre, my other Game Over Winnipeg host, he will be here for the Tuesday game against Boston, doing the post-game show, and also the Thursday game against Vegas. As yours truly will be at Canada Life Center watching the games, watching the Jets games live. Very much looking forward to that. So, you can join Brendan after the next game, Jets-Boston, about 5 minutes or so after the game ends here on the Game Over Winnipeg YouTube channel. So we hope to see you there. Hope everybody, thanks for watching again. Take care. Have a good night, and if you're driving, I know the roads aren't great right now. I got to drive home in a bit, so drive safe. Don't drink and drive. All right. Peace.